Tell us about Rick Santorum and why you're a supporter.
All right. My name is Ayesha Kreutz. I am a devoted Christian. I am a mother. I am a wife, and I'm president of the Frederick Douglass Foundation. And I just wanted to first start off to ask if there were any veterans that we had in the house. And if you would just please stand up so that we could give you a round of applause. I'm eternally grateful for that. And I wanted to start off talking about conservatives often quote Frenchman Alex de Tocqueville, who said this of America: America is great because she is good. If America ceases to be good, America will cease to be great. In a book that he had published in 1835 called Democracy in America, he wrote this: "Upon my arrival in the United States, the religious aspect of the country was the first thing that struck my attention, and the longer I stayed here, the more did I perceive the great political consequence resulting from this state of things, to which I was accustomed. In France, I had almost always seen the spirit of religion and the spirit of freedom pursuing courses diametrically opposed to each other. But in America, I found that they were intimately united, and that they reigned in common over the same country. And I don't see that today in America anymore. Too often, the further we get away from God's laws and as we replace them with the laws of man, we are becoming more and more enslaved to the government that fails to listen to the people. This is supposed to be a government for the people, a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And too many do not recognize that anymore. And we need someone who will stand up for America and for the American people again. With all these healthcare mandates that are infringing on our First Amendment rights to religion and freedom of speech, our ability to claim we are free is being stolen from us right before our eyes. And without the First Amendment and the right of freedom of speech, how can we protect the rest of our amendments? I know, settle down, my militia friends. It's not quite our time yet. Liberals might poo-poo on my concerns, but the Obama administration is telling religious people that they have to pay for an insurance policy that is mandated to cover sterilization procedures and abortion drugs. One is a fool if he thinks and still believes his church is no longer taking orders from the government, which is supposed to stay away from dictating the laws of God. We have to ask ourselves, do we really believe what we say we believe as conservatives? Do we believe all things, all these things that we say about live free and die, and that character matters, and that America is conservative? If yes, then we need to start voting that way. I'm sick of politicians who say one thing on the campaign trail and then quickly compromise their principles as soon as they think no one is looking. Guess what? We are looking, and we are paying attention, right? Conservatism works every time it is tried, and when it is properly articulated, like it is when Rick Santorum speaks. It makes sense to everyone who does not even know yet that they are conservative. Too often, Republicans are afraid of what liberals would think of our ideas, and they water them down a little bit. No one likes a weak advocate, so when those ideas are watered down with what would seem like an apology, those that might be open to the ideas in the first place totally disregard them. Rick Santorum is not apologetic about being conservative. In fact, that is why liberals hate him so much. He does not bend to their will. He understands the existential threat that the debt and the deficit spending is becoming to the solvency of the United States. He understands that there is no road left to kick the can down. The wall is right here, and we're about to hit it. He understands that you can't import more than you export. As well, he lives the life that he speaks about. He and his wife homeschool their children. Why? Because they know how bad the government is and how bad the education system is. As president, I don't doubt that he'll try to make it better. When his little girl, who had a disease that doctors normally recommend abortion treatment as treatment, once it is detected in the womb, got sick, he halted his campaign and spent that time with her. That is a man who understands that the family unit is more important than his own ambitions. And that tells me that his run isn't about him. It's about the things that he holds dearly: God, family, and country. America needs Rick Santorum. He's a man who understands the importance of faith in the family unit, and that the faith to be free from the intrusion of government. He is a man that a woman, who understands the importance of role models for my children. And I can look to him with admiration, and I can point to him to my children and say, that's someone that you want to look up to. He's not someone who will say anything to get elected. He does not believe, he does not say what he believes not to be right, and he uses God's word as a measuring stick. That is a man I can respect. There is nothing wishy-washy about him when confronted by incredulous media liberal persons with something that he might have said. He doesn't shy away from it. He says, yes, liberal, I believe that. But because the liberal media is so out of touch with the real Americans and the real American problems, as they try to make the argument that Obama should be reelected, they do not and will not ever get it. And unlike most squishy Republicans who go to D.C., he doesn't shy away from trying to educate liberals about what conservatives believe. A squish will pretend he only has to pretend, a squish will pretend, and he only has to pretend to believe that because the knuckle draggers make him say that. America doesn't need another squish who likes to wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge his way through life with the liberals. America needs Rick Santorum. He wants America to be good again. And as Alex Day Tocqueville said, when America is good, America is great. Please vote for Rick Santorum.
Email list or Facebook, I don't know, I can't tell the difference. She gets more stuff out than anybody else I know in Rochester. That does a great job. Now, we're gonna talk about Santorum. All right, well, come on up. And while you're coming up, let me tell the rest of the crowd about Ron Budarani. I can bring the mic to you.
No, I'm a young man. You know,
all right.